Hey y'all, my name is Mike Vaughn, and I just got back from seeing Dune Part 2. And oh boy, there's a lot to unpack. So sit back, relax, and hopefully you enjoy my not so hot takes on what might be my favorite movie of this year. You know, the word visionary gets thrown around a lot these days, but I don't know how else to describe Denis Deneuve's latest film. While we've had previous adaptations, including from David Lynch, Deneuve feels the closest to capturing author Frank Herbert's vision. This just feels like a milestone in sci fi fantasy films, just like how Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings trilogy really changed the game. Dune Part 2 does everything a good sequel should. It builds upon established characters and plot, whilst also introducing a host of new challenges and characters. Notably, joining the cast this time is Austin Butler, Christopher Walken, and Florence Pugh. And each one of them brings something exciting to the film. It also expands the world building in ways that just boggle my mind. Like, seriously, film scholars will be studying these movies for years to come. The overall theme of this movie, like everything else, is thoughtful and bold. Frank Herbert's original intent with his Dune series was a critical look at both religion, but specifically religious fanaticism and how it can easily deceive people. Paul isn't a savior. We aren't witnessing the rise of the chosen one, but rather the downfall of one, in its place a monster. This guy is very clever in how he uses and manipulates people. And honestly, I think this is where the casting of Timothy Chalamet really comes into its own because, I mean, this guy's charismatic, right? You're going to want to listen to what he has to say. Dune Part 2 is just pure spectacle on a scale that you rarely see. Seriously, Dune Part 2 might just be in a league of its own when it comes to jaw dropping visual style. Seeing this on the biggest screen possible is really a must. Every single frame is thoroughly thought out, and it reminds me of the insane details that Stanley Kubrick would put into his work. Just like the previous film, Dune Part 2 has some amazing fight scenes. I love how these scenes feel very fluid, yet equally brutal and intense. From the costumes, the score, the tone, and the pacing, everything about Dune Part 2 works so incredibly well. Even though it's not the hottest of hot takes, you cannot deny just how amazing this movie is. Though I will say, if you don't have a high attention span and or you just generally don't like this genre, the movie might not be for you. It can be rather daunting at times. But it certainly is a film that, though it challenges you, the reward is oh so worth it. Hey, so that's my review of Dune Part 2. Again, I know this wasn't the most brilliant hot take, but I know this is a movie that everybody's been kind of excited for, myself included, and I just kind of had to talk about it, make a video about it. But I want to know what y'all think, and more specifically, I'm kind of curious if any of y'all out there are huge fans of the novel, um, or like the series as a whole. And what do you think of how the adaptation is going? I know um, it seems pretty faithful. I mean, it's not exactly text to screen, but of course, you're always going to have to make certain changes to fit that adaptation. I am really curious to see if they keep going with this series because I know the book series does get very weird. Um, so I want to know what you all think about that. And I really appreciate you checking these videos out. Also, do you like when I do some on camera stuff? I'm trying to be less introverted, and this kind of, I guess, helps get me out of my shell a little bit. Um, and yeah, so I'm going to stop rambling. And thank you so much for checking out this video, and I will see you in the next one.